strong LinkedIn profile. Right? In today's day and age, you need to make sure that you're branding yourself appropriately. So what I'd like to do is I'll give one over here and one over here, and you guys can look at them and pass them on. Don't worry about, go through. Anyway, like I said, I'm the author of this book, and I do work locally, but I work with people all around the world to help them establish a strong presence on LinkedIn. And how many of you know what that device is? I remember, that's how I learned how to type. And, it's a different world out there for job seekers. At one time, the big decision we had to make was what kind of stationery we're going to buy for our resume. It's different now. In fact, at one time, this is really our main mode of communication. It was our mailbox. Not true. Nowadays, you might never, ever print out your resume. In fact, you might not ever put it into a mailbox. Your resume is now digital, and it's going to be sent, it's going to be posted, it's going to be transmitted electronically, and we have the internet. To blame, no. This is actually a good thing. Things do change. And so, what I'm going to do for you guys today is I'm going to give you 5 easy steps that you can take home with you. So if you have paper, I would hope that you take notes, unless you have a really good memory. But I'm going to give you 5 easy steps that you can do, that you can start leveraging LinkedIn and social media today. All right? So the very first thing I want you to do, I want you to go home and I want you to Google yourself. How many people have already done that? All right. Have you done it within the last month? A little different. Some people raise their hands, some people don't. This is something, guys, you need to be doing regularly. All right? Don't just don't trust that you did it like 3 years ago or 3 years ago or a year ago or 3 months ago and you're good. No. You want to get into the regular habit of seeing what your brand is online. At one time, we used to say, Google yourself and really hope and pray that nothing comes up. It's different. Now, no results equals no reputation. So once you Google yourself, look to see who is that person? What am I getting out of it? Am I proud of those results? Now, I also advocate setting up some Google alerts. Google alerts are a way of asking Google to email you whenever their Google bot indexes the web, and if they ever find an instance of your name, you'll get an email. So that way you don't always have to be Googling yourself. You can at least wait and see if something pops up so you can be alerted. I still suggest Googling, of course, but by having these Google alerts, you can find out what's happening. Now, I don't want to scare you. Hopefully you're going to find some really good information. But, it's important to realize that maybe it's not you. Maybe the results are someone else, right? We don't all have the same name, right? A lot of people might share our name, and they might be doing something terrible. In fact, I just did this presentation in Delaware, and I said, Google yourselves, and I got an email the very next day, and this guy said to me, oh my goodness, Donna, I kind of laughed at you when you suggested that, but I did it. And it turns out that there is a man out there sticking HIV-tainted needles in women, and he's got my name. And so we need to do that. We need to be aware. So I want you to get the right results, all right? That's going to be really important. So what was number 1? All right, now number 2 is, number 2 is get the right results. Get the right results. So what does this mean? This means I want you to create a name for yourself. I want you to figure out what your name is. A lot of times we have an initial in it, sometimes we don't, sometimes we're John, sometimes we're Johnny. Be consistent. Make that name across the board, on your resume, on your cover letter, on your business card. Make sure that name is consistent. And then I want you to go out and make sure that what's out there is good. All right, you can create a Twitter account. You can create a blog. Actually, create a LinkedIn profile. I also want you to make sure that you check your Facebook settings. They change them constantly. That company is crazy. And so I want you to make sure that you're not broadcasting information that you're not 100% sure about, okay? So with that said, get the right results, and the key here is create that LinkedIn profile. Now, why do I talk about LinkedIn? Well, it is the world's largest professional network. And, I mentioned Facebook earlier, and maybe some of you might be thinking, but I heard that Facebook's got a billion users. How can LinkedIn be the world's largest? And truthfully, it's professional. That's the operative word here. LinkedIn is totally professional. You're not going to find pictures of kittens or kids playing soccer or pictures of people on their vacation in Hawaii. You're not going to find any of that. All right, you're really going to find a very professional, career-oriented site. All right. Now, with that, I want to ask you guys a couple questions. Success on LinkedIn has been to date. All right. So I'm going to assume how many of you are on LinkedIn? All right, maybe I should ask who isn't on LinkedIn. 2 people. Okay. You're going to wait for us then. How many have been contacted by a recruiter? Raise your hand. Hi, guys. All right, that's a lot of people. How many found a job on LinkedIn? Not so many. All right. How many have reconnected with people on LinkedIn? That's good. How many people have prospected for business on LinkedIn? Okay. How many feel that LinkedIn has enhanced their reputation? Good, okay. How many people use it to act as a connector? When I say connector, what I mean is you're able to pick people up. You're able to say, hey, you know so-and-so. Let me introduce you to so-and-so. Okay, great. How many use it for networking? I call it networking in your pajamas. How many people use it for inspiration, to read articles, to gain knowledge? Right? Not as many people, but I will tell you, when you log into LinkedIn on that homepage, there's a feed of articles, of information that really do deliver a lot of value. Just take a look. How many people use it to find people who can help them? All right. Did I miss something? Yeah, you can research industries, you can research companies. That's true. I did not put that in there. Any others? No? Okay. How about none? Oh, yes? Pardon? Yes, very true. Absolutely. Is there a curmudgeon in the crowd who's like, LinkedIn hasn't done a darn thing for me? No? Okay, good. Sometimes I get them. All right. So right now, 80% of companies today are using social media for recruitment purposes. Of that 80%, 95% of these companies are using LinkedIn. That's huge. That's huge, but it makes sense. If you had a database where you can go in and find more about that candidate, you can find their career, you could look at their network, you could look at their recommendations, you can look at all the groups they belong to. Why wouldn't you? Especially when it's free. So, because of that, because people are using it as a research tool, doesn't it make sense to optimize? Usually get a laugh out of this slide. I'm very disappointed no one laughed. Maybe it's the masculine. I look better than that, dude. All right, so, pardon? I did. So, here are two LinkedIn profiles. And we have to ask ourselves, of these two profiles, which one are we drawn to? Who do we want to be? Now, on the left, we have Jean. And Jean herself, I'm going to upload the most unattractive photograph of myself to really act as that digital introduction to people who are looking to hire someone. Thinking there, Jean. You might also notice that over here, right here, that is her LinkedIn profile web address. And it contains the word pub. That means she hasn't customized it. All right? And if it has the word pub, all of you, I want you to make sure that you customize it. Look to see if the word pub is in there. If the word pub is in there, you've got to customize it. And if you go to my website, linkedin-makeover.com, I do have the directions on how to do that. But the pub does not belong in your web address. That's where you go after work. So now, if we look at this, we also notice that she copied and pasted her resume. Seemed like a good idea. Why not? Because, you know, resumes are just notoriously entertaining, engaging, and fun reads. So that's Jean, but there's Regina. And I'm being silly, but Regina's is the profile that we're drawn to. We like Regina's. What is it about Regina's profile that draws us in? And the answer is this. One, she has a professionally taken headshot. I don't care how long you've been out of work. This is an investment into your future. I hate to say it, do judge you based upon your looks. You want to make sure you look possible. I'm not saying you need to look like a supermodel. You need to look clean and well-adjusted and friendly. All right, getting a picture taken against a closet is not the best step forward. The other thing is she has an attention-getting headline. That attention-getting headline, CPA, helping clients maximize profit and grow businesses. How can I help you? Most people just use their default, which is just their title and their previous company. A headline's like a headline in a newspaper. You want it to be engaging. You want it to make a person want to read more about you. All right? The other thing she has, complete experiences, and they're keyword rich. What do I mean when I say keyword rich? With Regina, we realized that people are trying to find someone like her. They would like to hire someone like her, but they don't know her name. What these recruiters do is they have a job description in front of them. And that job description lists core competencies, specialties, and skill sets. And what these recruiters do is they take those words and they plug them into LinkedIn and they see what results, what profiles match those keywords. And so in order to make sure it collides with that type of opportunity, we strategically figured out what those keywords were, and then we made sure to pepper them throughout her profile. What I just told you right now is the secret, and it's huge. And if you didn't write that down, I am very sad. It's a Google world out there. The people who are easily found are the people who are successful. She's connected to websites and a customized URL. And she has a really compelling and interesting summary. It is not her resume. Her resume is her career history. It's her professional past. Her LinkedIn profile is her career future. It's how she impacts an organization. It's her selling points. It's what's going to make people want to work with her because she's unique and interesting and she has good communication skills without actually saying it. The other thing she has is a clear call to action along with contact information. I can't tell you guys how often I have clients who say to me, or at least people who come up to me after presentations and they say, well, you know, LinkedIn has never resulted in a single phone call. Then we look at their profile and they don't include their phone number. So how can anyone call them if their phone number is not there? All right, so you need to make sure that you're easily reachable. And then there's always one person in the audience who says, but Donna, what about identity theft? And I say to that, well, you know, you still board a plane even though it might crash, right? You don't know what's going to happen. You have to think about your future. It is a risk, but it's a small one. And what happens, happens. And then, of course, then someone else pipes in and says, what about the telemarketer? I'm going to suddenly have tons of people calling me about marketing things. I don't find that to be true, but the truth is, I'd rather get 3 phone calls from the telemarketer and one amazingly, ridiculously fantastic opportunity than no calls at all. So let's talk about profile pictures, okay? We have the do's on the left. And then we have the do nots on the right. And if anyone's on the right, I do apologize. I don't know if I have to tell you, but posing for a picture with a parrot on your head is not a good idea. All right? You want to make sure that your profile picture truly conveys you as a professional. I want you to look clean. I want you to look directly at the camera. All right? I want you to smile. These are all important things. In fact, 1, have it professionally taken. Do not use a picture that was snapped at a wedding. Look straight into that camera. Do not wear sunglasses. There is an inordinate amount of profiles out there with people wearing sunglasses. It looks like you're hiding something. Oops. Use a pale color background, or if not pale, then at least blank. We just don't want anything there. We don't want people looking and going, what is he standing in front of? We want you to be the focus, not the background. All right? I want you to dress professionally. Don't wear a bathing suit. Sorry. And zoom in close. So that picture should look like this. All right, does that make sense? I don't want to see any elbows. If I see elbows, that makes me cry. Okay? And did I say get it professionally taken? A couple times. Why do I say that? 1, because lighting makes a person. Lighting is really important. No matter what, it's just important. Yes? When I say dress professionally, dress the way you would if you're going to be interviewed. All right? So if you're in the technology industry and they typically just wear, you know, like a polo shirt, that could work for you. But, you know, I always think of something my mother said to me when I first started out in my career. She said, don't dress for the job you have, dress for the job you want. And I really do believe that's true. So you might want to dress a little bit better than you normally would. Okay? Any other questions? So here are some powerful headlines. I talked to you about the power of a good headline earlier. The default headline is just your name of the title and the name of your old company. That's it. That doesn't compel anyone. That doesn't attract anyone. That's not interesting. So you really want to come up with something interesting, but also something that is full of keywords. All right? Keywords are important because we want you to pop up in search. The very first one, Director of Public Relations and Marketing, raising visibility and awareness, creating strategic partnerships. Read on. There's a call to action. Read on. We also have at the very bottom, experienced sales professional looking to positively impact a new organization. Prospecting, closer, let's connect. She goes right out and she states, I'm looking to positively impact a new organization. That's positive. It's not like unemployed. She's really saying she is up for this task, and that's positive. So think in terms of keywords, think in terms of benefit statements, think in terms of really making an impact. Now, I know what you're all saying. It's like, I just can't do that. That's hard. So I have an ebook called The Headline Generator, and I give it away for free on my website. So if you go to linkedin-makeover.com, and on the right sidebar, there's going to be a little picture of this book. It says LinkedIn Headline Generator. And you just put in your email address. Basically what you're doing is you're signing up for my mailing list, and you will get about 6 or 7 emails from me. And that is not all at once. That's throughout the year. Don't send a lot. Training on LinkedIn as well. So you'll get the ebook, and then you'll get about 6 or 7 emails just on different tips that you can better leverage LinkedIn. But if you use 5 seconds flat, you get a sexy new headline. And lastly, resist the urge to copy and paste. Resist that urge, guys. Your LinkedIn profile is not your resume. You want to put something better there. All right? So, photographer, don't copy and paste. Use your keywords. And most importantly, include your contact information. I want you to build and use your network. What was 1? What was 2? 3? All right, 4 is build your network. Use your network. LinkedIn is a database. It's a Rolodex. And everyone's profile is a little card within that Rolodex. That's one of the reasons why I say there's all these cards. You want to make yours look really good. We want yours to stand out. But if we think of LinkedIn as a Rolodex, think of it this way. An empty Rolodex is useless. So you need to connect. If you want to find any benefit from LinkedIn, you need to have a very strong network, a strong network of first-degree connections. Now, I know you're not in front of your computer, but can you just give me just an idea of what you think? How many first-degree connections do you guys have in your network? So how many here have less than 100 people in their first-degree network? All right, a lot of people are hesitantly raising their hand. That's okay. How many have somewhere between 100 to 200? Maybe, okay. How many have 200 to 500? All right, that's good. That's getting good. 500 to 1,000. All right, that's great. How many over 1,000? Awesome. Over 12,000? No one has me beat? All right. I do. I have over 12,000 connections. And it behooves me. It makes sense. Stick with me. I'm going to blow your brain. All right? So, first step is connect with people you know and you trust. Just connect with people you know and you trust. Have that offline network reflected in your online network. So all the people that you've met throughout your life, try to connect with. I know this sounds daunting, but still, go with me here. Connect with your schoolmates. Connect with your ex-colleagues. Connect, connect, connect. All right? You might notice I have a word lion there. Did anyone think that was a typo? Anyone notice that? I wish. For a LinkedIn open networker. Those are people who are willing to connect regardless of whether they know you or not. That's why I have over 12,000 connections. I'll connect with you and your brother. All right? Now, this is something to remember. Connecting on LinkedIn does not equal endorsement. Who is that man? Bernie Madoff. I would connect with him. I have no qualms about that. I would connect with him. Why? He had connections, right. We have to get out of this mindset that, you know, it's just else. But the truth is, this guy has connection. And we're going to be connecting throughout that. All right? So with that said, let's talk about what comprises LinkedIn's network. That LinkedIn network is comprised of 3 degrees of separation, 3 degrees of connections. So I need 4 people to come up here with me right now. All right, so I've got 2. All right. Oh, yeah, okay. We'll do it this way. I want a single line. Single line. All right, so my name is Donna. Hi, Mitch. It's so nice to meet you. You know, we've known each other for a little while now. I would like you to join my LinkedIn network. Would you be open to doing that? All right. I have just sent him a LinkedIn invite. All right, and he's accepted. He is now my first-degree connection. He could have sent me the invite. It does not matter where it originates. But Mitch and I are first-degree connections. And you are? Bob. All right, Bob. I don't know Bob. Bob knows Mitch. They are first degrees. All right, they are directly connected. What is Bob to me? He's a second degree. All right. Next guy. Was it Ron? Vaughn. Vaughn. All right. Vaughn does not know Mitch. We're going to pretend that he doesn't. Okay. All right, so what is Vaughn to Mitch? Second. What is Vaughn to me? Okay. That guy out there. I can barely see him. He knows Vaughn. He doesn't know Bob. He doesn't know Mitch. What is he to me? He's nothing. He is nothing to me. And so if he searches for a LinkedIn profile writer, do you think I'm going to pop up in the search results? If I do, it's going to be at the very, very bottom. Right? Do you see where I'm going now with this? You'd ask me, why am I getting so many people that I don't know into my network? Because if they're searching, I want them to find me. And the best way to be found is to have them in my network. All right, so with that said, how can I get him into my network? Yeah, I just connect. Hey, would you like to be in my network? Absolutely. Come on in. Now he's my first degree. Yes. Now you can kind of get your idea. It is a database and it's a network. Now, let's say I'm looking for a job. And I research companies and I find that Bob has this really awesome company and I'd like to be introduced to him because I understand he's hiring. Guess what? I could pull him up on LinkedIn and I could see Mitch is that link. And so I could say, hey, Mitch, could you introduce me to Bob?
Absolutely.
All right. Or I could just pick up the phone and say, hey, I see that you're friends with Bob. What do you know about him? How can I bridge this? How can I go after him? Same thing here with Vaughn. I could get introduced to Vaughn. No, it doesn't. What it does matter is this. So let's say I want to get introduced to Vaughn. I would see that Mitch is the connector. Then Mitch is going to get that, and he's going to see that Bob is the connector. So the introduction would go from me to Mitch to Bob to Vaughn. It can't leap over anyone. So the further out of the network, the more likely that introduction is to possibly break or fail. Yes. Yeah. Right.
Okay, so you look down and say, oh, there's a job here. It turns out that Joe Blow has no idea who that is, has a connection to this job. How do you contact?
Guess what I do? I get these requests every now and then, and I look at the person's profile, and I make up my mind. I might say, Mitch, I love you, man, but I really don't know this person well enough. You might be going through someone else. I've done that. But also what I've done is I'd say, hey, Mitch, I'm going to take care of you. And I reach out to that person and I say, hey, we are both open networkers. We value networking and business connections. I have someone in my network who would love to meet with you. Would you mind if I passed you their names? And oftentimes that person is impressed and they're happy. But what I'm trying to say to you guys is, if someone does try to connect with you and you don't know them, check out their profile. If it looks hinky, don't connect. But if they look like a professional, why not? What can it hurt? Mm-hmm. You're out of connections from the, no, see, we all have 5,000 connections, 5,000 invitations that we can send. I don't think you're at that limit. I doubt you're at that limit. What I do think has happened, though, is you might have been a little too crazy in sending invites, and 5 people said, I don't know. And then your account is restricted, and then when you choose friend, you have to put in an email address. Your account was restricted. Don't worry, mine was restricted for a very long time as well. It's a little bit of a pain, but the answer to your question is this. We want to connect, who did we say, with Mike? All right, so I would go to Mike's page, and I would scroll down and I look what groups he belongs to. I join a group that he's in, and then when I go to connect, it's the group that I would cite as the reason for the network. There you go. So with that said, do we have any questions about this network? Was there an aha moment here for you guys? Do you understand why having a strong network is important and how you can utilize LinkedIn? If we were to lay it all on the line, the beauty of LinkedIn is that it turns invisible relationships visible, and it allows you to leverage those relationships. Thank you guys so much. You can sit down now. No. At one time it used to. But what happened was LinkedIn found that there were a lot of people who were like, hey, I've got 13,000 connections. And that was kind of going against the spirit of LinkedIn, because LinkedIn really wants you only to connect with people you know and trust. All right, so it taps out at 500, although you can continue to accrue It just doesn't show it. All right, so just so you can see how that LinkedIn network can grow. The more first degree connections you have, the more second and the more third. All right, it just explodes. The other thing in there are groups. All right, groups, all of those members are added to your network as well. So you can join up to 50 groups. Guess what I say? Join all 50 groups. In fact, join groups, a lot of members. Join groups where your target audience is located. Right now, your audience would be recruiters and hiring managers, right? Those are the groups to join. Once you have a job, you might want to get out of those groups and then join groups that are going to help you forge whatever that new goal might be. What is in your network as a third degree connection. So if they are someone like you and they put in keywords into the LinkedIn search engine, you will pop up. All right? That's a good thing because there might be some recruiters and they're trying to find someone. Yeah. Yes. Say that one more time. You are in the search, your first, second, third, or group, and there are some people out of the network that show up. But they show up low, very low in the results. Very few people ever get down there, and if they do, they can't always get that much information from you. All right? Now with recruiters, they sometimes will buy packages that will allow them to see everything. But the one thing you'll find is the closer you are in their network, the better you're going to fare in the search results. I have a couple questions here. Let's go here first. The emails. You can turn them off. In the upper right-hand corner of your screen, right behind where it says search, is your name. You hover over your name, you go to settings, you go to groups, and you turn off all those notifications. Life is a lot better when you're not avalanched. You have a question? Yes. You need to scroll down. All right. It's part of the skills and expertise section. And I will tell you why I'm really excited about the endorsements. The endorsements are a way of kind of recommending people, but without a paragraph, just through keywords. All right? And so I could say, hey, you're great with project management. I endorse you for project management. Now, let's really kind of expand our thoughts here. Remember what I said to you guys earlier. Use those keywords over and over and over again in your profile because it's a lot like the old Alta Vista search engine from back in the 90s when it was all about keyword stuffing. That's what really made you pop up high in the search results. But one thing we learned, and one of the reasons why Google is so huge, is it's so easy to hack. I mean, as long as I say project management 500 times and I turn up first in the search results, that doesn't mean I'm a good project manager. So what I believe LinkedIn is doing is they're trying to get away from that keyword density, and they're trying to bring you up in the search engines because all of these people say you're a good project manager. So it would behoove you, I think. Now, it just came out a week and a half ago, all right? So it's a little early to say, but strategically, that's where I think they're going with it. And that's why I have 100 people already endorsing me, because I keep endorsing people hoping that they have that quid pro quo guilt feeling. And, we get it that way. Yeah, recommendations are still important, and I will give you guys a real quick, oh God, this is such a awesome, awesome tip. I'm not going to talk a lot about it because I really do have to get going. But endorser.org is a recommendation wizard. You put in the person's name and you put in their industry, you hit generate, and up comes a awesome recommendation. Endorser.org. And so let's talk about leveraging your network, okay? So now we have this really strong network, full of people, full of tons of people, okay? We want to be able to search, all right? And you just go up there. Do you see it says advanced? You get an advanced search page. Most people don't even know that exists. So you can actually search for recruiters of your industry and then connect with them. All right, that's huge. Let's say I search for a LinkedIn profile writer. That's what my company does. We write people's profiles. I go up there, we hit click it, and I'm number one. Why am I number one? No, it's not because I'm the one that's searching. I'm almost consistently number one because I said LinkedIn profile writer a lot of times in my profile, not obnoxiously, but strategically, all right? But let's look at all the other people that pop up. Why are they popping up? Because they're closer to my network. They're first degrees. If I went into the second and third pages, you'd see more seconds and then more thirds. All right? So that's one of the reasons why it's important. So let's say I really want to have an appointment with the President of the United States. All right? I want to get into the Oval Office. I've got some things to talk to him about. But, you know, clearly he's not taking my call. I think I need to get another way in. So what do? Do a search, and there is a list of the people that I know who know him. Now, normally it's not 117. It's normally one or two people. But you can see, oh, it's Jake Calabrese. I know Jake. I'm going to ask Jake for that introduction. All right? So when you see that second degree up there, know to look to see who's that connector. Yes? That's wonderful. I'm so glad that you brought that up. It is possible to do that, but it also leads me to my next point, which is success on LinkedIn is getting off LinkedIn. So don't hide behind a send button all the time. All right, you want to look at their profile and see if maybe they do have their contact information. And call them. Call them, pick up the phone and call them. You know it. Real relationships are forged in the real world. All right, so yes, you can send messages with first degrees and you can go in there and post things on groups and you can find many different ways of getting contact. But if you really want to find success in this world, it's important to bridge that and pick up the phone and call people, all right? And allow people to pick up the phone and call you. That's why I said earlier, put in your contact information, all right? With that said, I want you guys to connect, share your updates, all right? What does that mean? When you get to your LinkedIn homepage, there is an area on the very top, and that's where you can put in your updates. And you can share information. You can broadcast messages. You can put out articles that are interesting to you. You can talk about projects that you're working on. This is what I like to call drip feeding. All right? Maybe a person doesn't need you now, but if you're able to consistently put out good quality, valuable updates, and they see them, and they remind of you, they might pick up the phone and call you when they need you. All right? So, there it is. Talking about where I'm presenting. The very top there. At the very bottom is where everyone else's updates are. And that's where I would listen and I would read what's going on. So not only am I broadcasting, but I'm also looking what other people are posting, and I'm commenting and liking it and interacting with people. All right? Now, number 5. I want you to be positive, have fun with it. LinkedIn really is a wonderful, wonderful social network. It is a sales tool. But what I really want you to do is, I don't want you to look at it and go, all right, what are you delivering to me? What are you giving me? Think more in terms of what can you give to your network. Networking is just being friendly. It's talking to people. It's giving advice. It's being there. Networking isn't showing up out of nowhere and saying, hey, do you got a job for me? All right, you want to be there a long time. You want to forge a friendship before you ask for something. In fact, what I'm always reminded of is when I get to the screen, think of that old speech that JFK gave years and years ago, where he said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. I say that back to you. Ask not what your LinkedIn network can do for you. Really think in terms of what value can I provide? What can I do? It's that karma that's going to bring those opportunities out for you. Yeah, it's true. Now, with that said, let's go over. What's number 1? Google yourself. What was number 2? What was number 3? What was number 4? Build and use your network. And number 5? Stay positive and have fun. So what I want you guys to know is I expect a LinkedIn invitation in my inbox tomorrow from all of you. If you invite me to connect, I know that you weren't paying any attention. All right? So I want all of you to go home and invite me to connect. I've got thousands of recruiters that I'm connected to. That just brings you closer to them. All right? The other thing is I want you to download that generator. And I want you to really make your headline sexy and interesting and engaging. All right? And no worries here. You can connect with me before you prettify, make your headline pretty. So don't feel like I'm going to judge. And lastly, I do have some books for sale. I normally sell them for $20, all right? But because you guys were so nice to sit here and listen to me, I am going to give you a discount. It's only going to be $15 tonight. And this book is going to help you create a LinkedIn profile. Everything that I talked about in will be covered. There's going to be tons of samples that you can use. It's really going to be a great way to put forward. You can also always check me out on linkedin-makeover.com. I've got tons of free resources, tons of videos, tons of immediately. All right? So absolutely, however I can help you, let me know. With that, thank you so much. Bye-bye. Oh, thank you.